Good morning, Sanbonani, bonjour, obrigado, molweni, absheni, dumelang, inienda. Yeah. Good morning to all of you all, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are around the world. I'm Pubesi Mphato Mhlaba. Welcome again to another episode of Football is a Religion, man. We're just gonna be short and brief today because it's just about the Copa del Rey. It's cup fixtures, cup action. In England we have the FA Cup, and then in Spain we have the Copa del Rey. So I would like to go to Spain right now and get straight to action with the Copa del Rey fixtures, right? And the results. And we're going to do previews on the games currently right now, right? There's still more action to follow today in terms of Copa del Rey action. But from the latest results from the games that have already played in the round of 32 games of the Copa del Rey, we'll get straight into it and we'll talk about it, right? Yeah, let's get straight to it. Okay. Yeah, we start off with Elche. Elche took on high-flying Girona, surprise packages Girona this season. Girona winning that game by 2-0 away from home, thanks to goals by Daley Blind as well as Manchester City loanee Brazilian winger Yan Couto. Those are the goals that were scored for Girona. Although what's even surprising about Elche with the dominant side, they had 22 shots at goal, but they could not find the back of the net. Elche, remember, they did get relegated from the top flight from La Liga last season, finishing bottom of the table. And currently they are struggling in League 2, in the Segunda division of Spain. They currently lie in 12th position and they've lost 3 consecutive games coming into this one. So they are winless. And yeah, there's no signs whatsoever of Elche making a possible return to the top flight football after missing out on a season. And Daley Blind scored his second goal for Girona in as many games. Remember, he did score in midweek in that, emphatic victory over Atletico Madrid. It was a 4-3 victory. That was a great game of football to actually watch, and he did score in that game. This is like now his second goal in two in all competitions. His second goal in as many competitions. As for Yan Couto now has scored his second goal for Girona. Remember, he only scored 1 goal for Girona last season, and he's still on loan from Manchester City. And that has helped Girona progress to the last 16 round of 16 of the Copa del Rey, this season's Copa del Rey. So congratulations to Mikel Sanchez and his men, even though they were kind of outplayed, considering the fact that Mikel Sanchez did make 5 changes coming into this game. There's been an injury scare for Girona, as former Barcelona and Manchester City defender Eric Garcia had to limp off due to injury. We are yet to get some confirmation on how long will he be out and what the paramedics did say with regards to his injury. And as for Ivan Martin, the informed Girona midfielder, did retain his position in the squad, in the starting lineup for this game against Elche. Unlucky for Elche, yeah, they will try again next time. Again, they still have got the players, they've got the personnel to do it, they've got a great coach, but they just need to get the results up and running, and they need to be more consistent. Right, so we head straight to the next game that took place between 3rd division side, Lugo, taking on Atletico Madrid. Remember, Atletico Madrid were hoping to bounce back following that 4-3 defeat to Girona. And coming into this one, Atletico Madrid haven't been on a decent run of form, losing 4 consecutive away games for the first time in their history under coach Diego Pablo Simeone. So the game was straightforward. We knew that Atletico Madrid were going to win this game. It was going to be straightforward as obvious, right? Angel Correa, got the game running. He got the game up and running, getting his 5th goal of the season, right? Which was a simple tap in from Javi Galan cross at the back post. He tapped in a great, it was just a simple tap in by the Argentine at the back post following a great cross from Javi Galan, the defender who made a rare appearance for Atletico Madrid this season. But surprisingly, the home side did get back into the game, equalizer, finding a 38th minute equalizer thanks to Puerto Rican striker Leandro Antonetti, who dazzled his way into the area and actually got, his side a crucial equalizer, But from that point, which did send some panic mode into coach Diego Pablo Simeone, because Diego Simeone then sent on Antoine Griezmann at halftime, bidding in a bid to actually avoid, a potential upset, a potential embarrassment, perhaps maybe even a fifth consecutive loss away from home. So Atletico Madrid did take the lead midway through the second half through Memphis Depay, who hasn't really had much game time this season, but look, he still has the quality in him. Class is permanent when it comes to the Dutchman, man. Memphis Depay found himself in space in the box and he smashed home a great goal to actually give his side a 2-1 advantage, and then going on to quickly add a second with the superb clip finish from a Marcus Llorente cross, right? And a great win for Atletico Madrid. They've now bounced back from that midweek defeat to to Girona. And currently, with what Coach Diego Simeone did say, he said, currently Atletico Madrid are out of the title race, so they just need to focus on ensuring that they do qualify for the UEFA Champions League this season, or perhaps win some silverware. Yeah, and historically, there has been some history made based on from an individual perspective. Saúl Ñíguez, has now played 404 matches for Atletico Madrid, equaling the record of Fernando Torres as the 10th player with the most games played in the club's history. So, yeah, a huge milestone for Saúl, a huge milestone for him, and all the best to him in his future endeavors for the club, as well as post-football. And straight up to fellow Madrid team, their crosstown rivals, Real Madrid, traveled to 4th division side Arandina, where they obviously comfortably won the game by 3-1, but it was not straightforward, with Arda Güler, the much-hyped Turkish midfielder. He's deemed to be the next Ozil. Of course, he's going to be the next Ozil. He is the heir to Mesut Ozil, right? He made his first appearance for Real Madrid, his first start. Eduardo Camavinga also making his first start following a lengthy spell on the sidelines. We saw Brahim Diaz also making a start. We saw also Kepa Arrizabalaga returning from injury, making a rare start as well. So it was just basically infused with youth as well as reserves, right, for Ancelotti's men. First off, they had a lot of opportunities. The home side made life difficult for Los Blancos, right? But look, in terms of them actually having clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities, although Real Madrid were dominant, as expected, we did expect Los Blancos to be the dominant of the two sides, right? But what actually happened is that they did have opportunities to actually get to actually put the ball into the back of the net, but most of their finishing was wayward, right? Some of the opportunities that they did had, we saw Nico Paz, we saw also Arda Güler, we saw Brahim Diaz as well, having a few shots from range, as well as Dani Ceballos, but they were unable to trouble the goalkeeper in the Arandina goal, right? So from that point onwards, second half, pretty straightforward. They did eventually get reward for their dominance, thanks to Joselu scoring from 12 yards from the penalty spot, getting his 9th goal of the season. That was some great work once again from Brahim Diaz. He was the one who actually won the penalty, and which was greatly converted by the Spanish striker Joselu. Remember, Brahim Diaz, he did say he wanted to represent Morocco at the African Cup of Nations, but unfortunately, Real Madrid refused that to actually happen. Well, then Brahim Diaz, 60 seconds later, he did get his goal, a much-deserved goal after a much, mesmerizing display from the AC Milan player. I mean, what a great game he had. I mean, winning the penalty, getting a goal, getting an assist. He did assist the goal for Rodrigo, as Rodrigo did put the game to bed within the final minutes of the game. And the home side did eventually get their goal, denying Kepa Arrizabalaga of a possible clean sheet after Nacho put the ball into the back of his own net, which was a natural own goal. But let us talk about Arda Güler. Arda Güler, you can see, man, the quality is just there. The quality is just there, guys. And it says it all. His debut says it all, guys. 90% pass accuracy, 2 chances created. He has like two out of 3 successful dribbles. He created a big chance. Wow, the quality is there, man. This indeed is the next Mesut Ozil. The next Mesut Ozil, Arda Güler. Wow, man. Quality. We hope to see more from him. We just hope to see more from him. The next Mesut Ozil. Again, man of the match performance, Brahim Diaz, well deserved. Getting a goal, creating the penalty, and actually getting an assist. What an incredible performance by Brahim Diaz. And, a comfortable victory for Real Madrid as they march on, the cup holders of this tournament. They march on to the last 16 of the Copa del Rey this season. And then we head straight to Catalonia. Espanyol took on Getafe, the relegated Espanyol. This is their first time in many seasons not competing in the Spanish top flight, as they are now in the Segunda division of Spanish football. But unfortunately, they did lose to Getafe. They are much fancied opponents. Great goal by Luis Milla, actually winning the game for Getafe for the Madrid Stars. It was indeed a close contest, a close contest. I meant to say it was a close contest. The Madrid-based side, grabbed the late winner, which has surely encouraged their fans to start dreaming of cup success, And, considering the fact that Getafe are enjoying a standout season inspired by Mason Greenwood, currently Getafe lie 8th in La Liga and have made good progress in the cup, right? So the Azulons have never won the Copa del Rey. We know that, right? Although their best ever finish in this tournament was as runners-up in 2007 as well as in 2008, And look, this is a team that perhaps they've shown so much promise over the years, but unfortunately, it hasn't been that consistent, It hasn't been all too consistent, but there are times where they do show promise, but they always struggle to keep up with the momentum, Getafe, But again, let us talk about Mason Greenwood. Although he did not have as much effective impact as he did for Getafe before the Christmas break, it was certainly a much better performance compared to that game against Rayo Vallecano where he was sent off. Greenwood, in this particular encounter, he achieved an 86% pass accuracy by completing 25 out of 29 passes, right? The player was also heavily involved in Getafe's attack by touching the ball 50 times and actually completing 100% of his long balls. Currently there are three clubs that are gunning for his signature. Real Sociedad, Atletico Madrid, as well as Barcelona. Even Barcelona are actually offering to offer him, the iconic number 10 jersey that was worn by Leo Messi, the now departed Lionel Messi, right? That shows you how Greenwood has actually resurrected his career at Getafe, and he has played a pivotal role for the Madrid-based club, right? And from this point onwards, sky's the limit for the former Manchester United player, man. Unfortunately, Manchester United did lose out on a gem. They've lost out on a gem right here. They've lost out on a gem. Great victory for Getafe, winning by a 1-0 away to Espanyol, but another great performance by Mason Greenwood. Hopefully he can just keep up with this momentum and keep up with the consistency. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bonjour. Hola. Obrigado. Sanbona. Molweni. Absheni. Dumelang. Yeah. Hey, man. Good morning to all of y'all, man. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are around the world. Welcome again to another edition of Football is a Religion right? Football is indeed a religion. My name is Bubesi Umpati Mhlaba. If you're new to this channel, please welcome. Welcome. I would love to welcome you. You understand? And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Asbangene bafethu. Let's go. Let's get straight into it. Copa del Rey. Now we're doing the final touch-ups on the other matches that took place. Right? We're doing the final touch-ups on the other games that took place. So let's start with Blaugrana. Blaugrana. Barcelona. Barca, they're not having the best of seasons this season, right? They whenever they win matches, it's always scrappy. It seems to be very scrappy. They're not winning games, with real conviction. Even when you would assume that, this, whenever they come up against an opposition, that you would fancy them obviously to dominate against that opposition, to actually win to claim a victory over that opposition, by a mile. But you look at how Barcelona have really struggled, even against easy oppositions, it's like it always has to be scrappy. Whenever they're able to get victory, it has to be a scrappy victory. It's like they struggle to break down some of these clubs. Like now, currently, yesterday's game in the Copa del Rey against Barbastro, right? So they traveled to Barbastro, fourth tier, a team that is competing in the fourth tier of Spanish football. Yeah, Barcelona traveled there. Of course, Barca won the game by 3-2. The scoreline kind of says something, it reflects something, but we'll get straight into the details of that. But yeah, that has been the season so far for Barcelona. They've looked far from the team that they were last season. They've looked far from the team that we know that is capable of actually, doing a clean sweep in terms of claiming all the trophies that are there on offer. But looking at the way they've performed this season, there's a lot of question marks to be asked. A lot of question marks to be asked about Xavi as well as his team. So yeah, the game finished by 3-2. Barcelona narrowly beat the fourth tier opposition in the Copa del Rey. Luckily, Blaugrana was still able to progress to the round of 16. Although Barcelona were made, like I said earlier on, they were made to work surprisingly hard for their place in the round of 16 of the Copa del Rey. By this fourth tier team called Barbastro, right, on Sunday evening. So, right, we get straight into it. Obviously, Barcelona were dominant. They were dominant, right, as we expected. And obviously, their dominance were going to be rewarded. And it was rewarded in the 18th minute of the game after Fermin Lopez, the youngster, put Blaugrana ahead in the 18th minute of the game to give the away side a lead, a well-deserved lead. He ghosted into the box. He was unmarked before firing a good low cross from Rafinha, the Brazilian, who indeed had a great game, And from that point on, it's Fermin Lopez, he actually turned provider. In the 40th minute, when he raced down the right flank, he chipped in a delightful cross into the path of an unmarked João Felix at the back post. The Portuguese winger hit it with the first-time half volley, which actually found the back of the net, but it was ruled for offside. But there was no offside. Unfortunately, in the early stages of the Copa del Rey, there is no video assistant referee, So João Felix was hard done by. That was a great volley, great goal, although it was ruled out for offside. But João Felix was miles onside. He was way onside. There was no offside whatsoever. So João Felix will feel hard done by, but at the end of the day, it really did not affect Barcelona that much in terms of how they were able to still finish the game, as they were still, they were able to claim victory and actually secure progression to the next round. But however, from that particular moment in time, João Felix didn't really affect the game that much. He really did not affect the game that much, There's so much question marks of his performances lately, because after he scored that goal against his former club, Atletico Madrid, which was the winning goal, you'd expect more momentum from the Portuguese. He's just slacking. He really did not affect the game that much, as well as Ferran Torres. And that's what I say about Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres, he's a good player. He's excellent, right? But then The problem with Ferran Torres is he lacks in terms of consistency. He's really not consistent, Ferran Torres. He's really not consistent. I mean, even in this game, he looked lethargic. He was very, complacent. He mistimed some of his passes. He just did not have that impact, that sharp impact that you would expect from him. After actually getting a goal in midweek, you'd expect him to actually take that, momentum with him and bring him this, into a game like this. Because look, I mean, Barcelona, with all the sharp quality players that they have, all the tools that they have, you'd expect a walkover over this Barbastro team. You'd expect like the score to reflect like a cricket match, a cricket scoreline. But look, I mean, like I said, João Felix as well as Ferran Torres were the players that really just did not show up in this game. And look, in the second half, we did see like, luckily Barcelona, were able to actually like double their lead within the few minutes going into the second half after Rafinha side-footed a great goal at the back post to give Barca a 2-0 lead. You understand? And what a great cross. That was a delightful cross from the other youngster, Hector Fort, who was making his first start for Blaugrana since being graduated from the La Masia Academy. What a delightful cross that was from the youngster, Hector Fort. Wonderful cross that was to actually find Rafinha unmarked at the back post, and he slotted the ball, side-footing it into the back of the net to actually get his team's second goal of the game. So that was basically an assist and a goal for the Brazilian. Like I said, remember Rafinha has been coming under fire of late. And I'm glad that he's starting to really silence his, critics. And he should continue to do likewise all the time. He should always silence the critics, silence all the noise, keep on being more consistent, because Barcelona need more performances from him. These are the kind of performances that Barcelona really need at this particular moment in time, especially considering now we are in the second half of the season. Barcelona will be competing in the Champions League. They currently trail Real Madrid and as well as Girona in the race for the La Liga title. So currently players like Rafinha, they really need to show up, and they really need to give Barcelona consistent performances like this. You understand? But shockingly, following that second goal scored by Rafinha, Barbastro shockingly reduced the deficit to 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, from that point onwards, the 32-year-old Spanish striker Andrea de Mesa capitalized on a fantastic set-piece delivery from Conpi. Conpi did have an opportunity, but which was an easy save by the Barcelona goalkeeper. He flicked home a famous goal in front of a rampant home crowd at the Estadio Municipal de Deportes, But then from that point onwards, momentum was with the home side, as they did come close to leveling the scores late in the game, with Israel Garcia just heading wide off the mark. He was completely unmarked when he was found with a great cross inside the penalty area. But luckily, Barcelona, Robert Lewandowski, who has also come under fire in recent times, he did establish a 2-goal cushion after coming off the bench, actually creating the penalty and converting from 12 yards out in the 88th minute of the game to actually seal a comfortable victory for Barcelona. But surprisingly, the home side actually did get another consolation goal, which was actually scored by Marc Prat Serrano from the penalty spot. So basically, the final minutes of the game were very nervy, because both goals in the final minutes of the game were scored from the penalty spot. But Barcelona were still able to hold on for victory, against the fourth-tier side, and they progress to the round of 16. Remember, they are the record times champions within the Copa del Rey tournament. So Barcelona, I think this is their major chance of grabbing silverware if things don't work out within the UEFA Champions League and as well as La Liga, right? Rafinha being the man of the match, deservedly so, getting a goal and assist. Vitor Roque, the new Brazilian recruit, the striker, he did have another opportunity to actually kill off the game, but again, it was a great save from Fabregas, not Cesc Fabregas, but the goalkeeper of Barbastro in the, in goal, denying the Brazilian a chance to actually score his first goal of the season. As for Xavi and his men, it's back to the drawing board. They just need to continue grinding the results, but it cannot always be this scrappy. If they're always going to be winning like this in a scrappy manner, a lot of question marks will be asked. Whether this is a team that really wants to compete for major honors this season. They really need to be more consistent. They really need to give more good performances, especially from some of their, players. João Felix, he's not in it. Ferran Torres, inconsistent. Robert Lewandowski, a warning will be sent to him because now that with the arrival of Vitor Roque, he really needs to start firing for Blaugrana. Right. From that point onwards, Racing Ferrol, a team from the third tier of football, Spanish football, took on Sevilla. Sevilla haven't had a great run of results. They've only won one game out of their last 10 games in all competitions. So this was a chance for Sevilla to actually put, so much behind them. This dreadful run of results that they've had was this Copa del Rey encounter against Racing Ferrol gave them a much needed opportunity to actually put that behind them and actually, secure a positive result, and in which they did. Sevilla winning by 2-1, thanks to goals by Marcao, the Brazilian, as well as Juan Luis Sanchez, doubling the advantage, actually scoring the winning goal. But Sevilla, again, surprisingly, they were made to work in this game. You would expect a straightforward game for Sevilla. You would expect, a straightforward victory from them. But again, they were made to work. They were made to work. Because not so long ago, 5 minutes going into the second half, the home side equalized through Fran Manzonara, the Spanish striker, who eventually did receive his marching orders in the last minute, in the dying minutes of the game. But Sevilla, luckily, they were able to hold on for a much-needed 2-1 victory, thanks to goals by Marcao, the Brazilian, as well as Juan Luis Sanchez. That actually sealed victory for, Sevilla. And back to the drawing board for them. They need to really replicate this victory, this, much-needed result into the league in terms of improving their league form. Because their league form has been dreadful this season. Dreadful. They are now 16th place. They're in 16th position. Just a point above the relegation zone. For a team of their caliber, that is just a disaster. That is unacceptable for a team of their caliber. Again, the next result, Alaves 1, Real Betis 0. The goal scored by Uruguayan midfielder Carlos Benavides in the 57th minute, right? So what that means for Real Betis winless run does extend to 6 matches after the defeat in the Copa del Rey to Alaves now. As well as Alaves, Alaves now end a tough run of form by winning their first game after a string of 4 consecutive defeats. So both sides, have been on a very dreadful run. Their form has been dreadful. But as for Alaves, momentum will, at least be at ease. They will be much more at ease with victory in the cup against Real Betis over their opponents, right? Ending a string of 4 consecutive defeats. As for Real Betis, their winless run continues to 6 matches. Question marks need to be asked about Manuel Pellegrini's side. This is a team that really is supposed to be competing for the Champions League spots. But they are far from it. There's so much lack of enthusiasm from this Real Betis side. So much lack of enthusiasm. Hey, but I must say, guys, this Copa del Rey, this season it's actually been interesting. We nearly saw a couple of upsets. We literally nearly saw a couple of upsets, guys. I'm not sure if you guys are hearing me, but we literally nearly saw a couple of upsets. And you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the game, one of the upsets that was close to being possible, right? Was obviously the game that took place between FC Cartagena against Valencia, right? Valencia narrowly winning that game by 2-1. Narrowly. They were on the brink of losing the game. They were literally on the brink of losing the game, the team from Mestalla. But, I understand, in football, you just need a bit of luck. Once you are lucky here and there, you understand, chances are you will win the game, if you are just lucky, if the gods are with you. Valencia just won this game narrowly by 2-1, away from home. And what I can say is that the Valencia coach, Ruben Baraja, he breathed a huge sigh of relief after, their side, after the fact that Valencia were close to, losing this game against FC Cartagena. I mean, this is a team that is like, bottom. This is a team that is at the bottom in the Segunda division, in the second division of Spanish football. This is a team that is bottom of the log. Bottom of the log. But they struggled. Imagine, Valencia, a team with massive history. A team that not so long ago they did win the Copa del Rey, not so long ago in 2019. But they struggled against a team that is bottom of the log in the second division of Spanish football. Bottom, number 22. But hey, I mean, at least Valencia did get the victory, But the home side surprisingly took the lead in the 4th minute of the game, thanks to a goal by Alfredo Ortuno, who scored his 6th goal of the season. He's got 5 league goals so far this season, and this goal that he scored against Valencia in the Copa del Rey was his 6th goal of the season, right? And Valencia were on the brink of actually losing this game, but luckily Sergi Canos saved them, scoring the equalizer in the 73rd minute. And then guess what, in extra time, Captain Jose Maria Gaya came to the rescue. Jose Luis Gaya coming to the rescue to actually give Valencia a much needed victory, an important victory, to send his team into the round of 16 and against the 10 men of FC Cartagena. I can't understand how Valencia just did struggle to actually make use of the one-man advantage. They struggled because remember the home side had their Spanish right back sent off. Even Calero Ruiz was sent off in the 45th minute of the first half, just right on the brink of halftime. A deserved red card after a very bad tackle, But hey, on the bright side, guess what? Nigerian Spanish-born winger David Otorbi Ejedadwe, made history by becoming the youngest first-team debutant. He made his debut at 16 years old, 2 months and 19 days old, right? He chose to represent Spain, so obviously you won't see him at the African Cup of Nations for Nigeria. He grew up in Spain, born and bred in Spain, to both parents who are Nigerian, David Otorbi Ejedadwe, I meant to say Ejedadawe, right? Nigerian, but Spanish born, right? Making history, becoming the youngest debutant for Valencia. So let's go straight up again. Tenerife 2, Las Palmas 0. Goals by Jose Maria Torres, the Spanish centre-back, scoring in the 4th minute. That was an early goal. And then they doubled their advantage in the 25th minute of the game, thanks to 22-year-old Spanish winger who's on loan from Sevilla, Luis Mi Cruz. Yeah? You understand? He just got a goal and an assist this match. That was basically a man of the match displayed by the Sevilla loanee, Luis Mi Cruz. So, look, it was a Canary Islands derby, which did take center stage at the Estadio Hilario Doro Rodriguez Lopez on Sunday as bitter rivals Tenerife and Las Palmas faced off with a place in the last 16 of the Copa del Rey at stake. Both sides got to this stage of the competition with dramatic extra-time victories in their respective second-round fixtures, with Tenerife knocking out Deportiva de La Coruña by 3-2, while Las Palmas defeated Tudelano by 2-1. So, yeah, great victory for the home side. Tenerife, well, basically just 6 points behind, the playoffs for promotion to the Spanish top flight. So basically they are on a decent run of form. As for Las Palmas, they've surprised many of us as they find themselves in the top half of the La Liga table. So yeah, great victory. Tenerife get all bragging rights in the Canary Islands derby. And then straight to Malaga. Malaga took on Real Sociedad. Malaga, playing in the 3rd division, came into the game with a 6-match unbeaten run. They signed off 2023 with 3 wins on the trot, and as well as, in their first match of 2024, they were held to a 2-2 draw by Intercity in the Premier Federación. On the side of Real Sociedad are basically unbeaten in 12 games across all competitions. Although previously, before coming into this Copa del Rey clash against Malaga, they drew all their games. They drew all their games, guys. So Sociedad have registered like 1-0 away wins in the first and second round of the Copa del Rey, and they now have made it 3-1-0 wins on the trot in the Copa del Rey by actually defeating Malaga. The goal did come from Einar Galalia, I meant to say Einar Galalia, in the 49th minute. That was an own goal from the Spanish centre-back. Unfortunately, unlucky. It happens. As for Osasuna, they took on high-flying CD Castellón, right? CD Castellón taking on Osasuna, right? What's actually funny is that all the odds were against Osasuna due to the fact that this Castellón are on the brink of actually securing promotion. So like I said, the reason why Castellón were actually like the much fancied opponent against Osasuna, is due to various factors. Certain factors, like Castellón are the high-flying team in the third division of Spanish football, and they are currently in pole position to gain promotion to the Segunda division as league winners, right? Which is like Segunda is like actually like the second division, second tier of Spanish football, right? So their home form has actually been immaculate, with the Valencians actually winning all 10 games played in front of their fans this season. As well as by Osasuna, on the side of Osasuna by contrast, have struggled on their travels, but their away games tend to be exciting. We have noticed that many times in La Liga this season. Their away games tend to be exciting, with 4 of their last 5, seeing at least 3 goals being scored in those games, right? Despite playing 2 divisions above, their hosts, Castellón, right? Jagoba Arasate's side are far from favorites. They were far from favorites coming into this game to advance in this tie. So obviously, even myself, I was backing Castellón to actually claim a narrow 1-0 victory. But luckily, it was not to be the case, as the La Liga side, Osasuna did get their first victory away from home in 6 games. Thanks to a goal by Jose Manuel Arnaz Diaz, who scored in early extra time. This game went to extra time to tell you how, tough this game was, right? To tell you how, my prediction almost became correct by actually fancying, the home team. But look, Osasuna did actually do what they're supposed to do, as the top flight team to actually secure promotion. Remember, Osasuna were the finalists last season, just only losing out 2-0 to Real Madrid. Thanks to they scored in extra time. Thanks to Jose Manuel Arnaz Diaz, So like now, Osasuna have now ended a dreadful away run, winning the first in 6 games. So congratulations to Osasuna, man. Last but not least, Eibar 0, Athletic Bilbao 3. So yeah, Ernesto Valverde's team, continue with the great momentum that they had this season by winning by 3-0 against Eibar away from home. We know that Athletic Bilbao extend their unbeaten run in this fixture to 14 games, meaning that they've never lost a game to Eibar, the host, in 14 fixtures. As for Eibar, their unbeaten run at home comes to an abrupt end. Goals by Asia Villalibre in the 17th minute, a brace from him. He opened the scoring in the 17th minute before captain Ika Munyain doubled the advantage in the 33rd minute of the game, and the game was sealed beyond any reasonable doubt in the 40th minute of the game as the youngster Asia Villalibre, doubled the lead. He got his brace, tripled the lead, got his brace, and yeah, it was game, set, matched and done. Game was won in the first half.